In 1897, Avonside Works constructed a small 040 steam locomotive for the Mercer's Dun and Chute of Newport Town Company. The locomotive was called Trojan and was a very successful shunter. However, it wasn't good at pulling trains due to the lack of bunker and small boiler. Following the 1923 grouping, the Great Western Railway was in need of small tank engines to run on the lighter branch lines around the Cornwall region. The directors of the GWR's operating division was impressed by Trojan's design and commissioned Avonside to build a fleet of improved versions capable of branch line operations. Avonside expanded the size of the boiler and added a bunker. 3 prototypes were outshopped in December 1923 and entered trials in the new year. During the trial period, the Great Western opted out of the Greater Trojan program, instead using their existing fleet of Victorian-era tank engines on the lighter late branch lines. These engines would eventually become the Pannier line of locomotives. The GWR backed out due to serious flaws in the Greater Trojan design. When Avonside had added the larger boiler, they had not expanded the water tank size to accommodate it. This was due to the GWR's weight limitations. This meant the prototypes couldn't go more than a short distance without needing more water. With the GWR pulling the plug, Avonside sold their wacky 040s onto the private market in early 1925. Number 934 was bought by a contractor company named Phillips and Horsted and was brought to their main workshops at Warrington. The engine underwent overhaul in spring of 1926 and emerged that fall a stronger engine. With no weight limit, P&H were able to enlarge the firebox, shrink the boiler to fit the overall size, and expand the size of the water tanks to better accommodate the boiler. While now unbelievably heavy for its size, P&H No. 2 had a much better range capability without compromising too greatly in the strength category. No. 2 was hired out to a number of loaners from 1926 to 1930, but was in need of an overhaul by summer of 1930. When it emerged from the workshops in December in a fantastic Great Western Railway livery, it was just in time for the P&H to be hit by the Great Depression. P&H put a majority of their locomotives up for sale, including No. 2. In April of 1931, a buyer visited P&H looking for a shunting engine at his big station. This was of course the fat director who bought No. 2 and named him Percy. Percy went off to the island of Sodor, where he remains to this day. Percy's classmates, numbers 933 and 935, were both sold to a mine in Cornwall. They were both taken to pieces in 1935, leaving Percy the last surviving member of the ill-fated Greater Trojans class.